Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 16 of What If Naruto Pushed Himself to His Limit. Remember to get this one to 300 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also stay in tune for What If Naruto had Divine Power. And I already posted a new episode of What If Naruto was a Sasuke King. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And later on I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto was born in the Uzumaki clan. So stay tuned for that and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Begin the intro. So, the last part we left off, Tsunade was confused as Mei Terumi arrived and wanted to be directed straight to Naruto's compound. As Mei told her to call Naruto as he need to be here for this. Arriving there, Mei appeared behind Naruto, tried to surprise him as he poofed away and wrapped his arms around her, the real Naruto behind her. As Tsunade was surprised, so she was one of the girls that Naruto was with. Well, considering all the good reports that she got back from Kiri when Naruto saved them. As Naruto walked over and sat down as Mei sat down in his lap, Kojo then left the room instantly as he was pissed. As he was in love with the Mizukage, but seeing that now they were married, he thought it was just a fling. Things he realized he couldn't, and he never would be with her. As he was walking down the road as he slammed right into Aizurabi. As she wasn't looking where she was going either, hurrying up to her job. She also had feelings for Naruto, but he see her as a little sister, as she can tell that. Seeing Kojo and apologizing, she told him that she will show him around the village for hitting into him earlier. Kojo didn't even get to say anything as she just ran off. And he figured it would be rude if he didn't show up, so he was going to show up. News got sent to Kumo as the Kumo ninjas arrived at Konoha. Tsunade was shocked, another one? So Naruto was with a Jinjuliki of Kumo, and also Mei Terumi, the Mizukage. What's next, a daimyo? As Tsunade decided to send Yujito straight to Naruto's house. Arriving back late after training his squad, Naruto was surprised when he heard two voices call out his name as he turned to see Mei and Yujito. As the day turned from a one-on-one with three of them. Arriving there, Naruto could feel a tension between them as they kept on saying things to get on each other's bad side. But Naruto kept on changing the subject as he wondered if he took himself out of the equation if they could talk to each other. But when Naruto came back, he was shocked as the both of them were literally throwing punches. As Naruto grabbed the both of them hand and paid and left the restaurant. Arriving back home, Naruto sighed as he apologized, seeing that if it was him he wouldn't want to share one of them either. And he told him to think, and if they don't want to be with him, he would be okay with that, because if they want someone who will turn his full attention on them. The both of them were beyond shock. How could he say that the person that did everything for them, he that uses time to make sure he visit them and with them. The both of them apologized to each other as they messed up, but they knew only one way they could make it up to Naruto. The next day, Naruto had a big smile on his face as, to his surprise, the both of them woke him up this morning dressed in skimpy lingerie. And the three of them, yes, the three of them had a wonderful time together. We then had a time skip as it was finally time for the finals, as Mei, Gaara, the Raikage, and Tsunade was there, as a lot of daimyos and politicians were there as they came to see Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, seeing that Minato had a lot of political pull and they wanted to see him. So you guys, that was basically last part left off. You guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself. So, what do you say we begin this new episode? Before we begin the exams, there are a few new additions to the exam that I have added, Naruto said. First, we have the same rule as the one we have in the preliminaries. You listen to what I say when I say it. Failure to do this would result in your immediate termination from the exam. Next, to make this exam a little more challenging and entertaining, I have placed several traps all through the arena. Many of the genin started to sweat as they saw that sadistic gleam on Naruto's face. There may be other surprises as well, problems that will rise up and make you have to think on your feet. I hope all of you have prepared well this past month. Now, Naruto said, the first match of the exam will be Hyuga Hanabi and Juka Karatake. Are both fighters ready? The both of them nodded. Alright then. Begin, said Naruto as he flashed away. As Juka and Hanabi started to clash at each other. Juka started to use several wind style techniques, but they were no match for Hanabi, as she dodged all of them, arriving into a perfect Jugen stance. She caught the San Genin off guard, rushing him with several jabs to his ears. He was sent flying back, but he struggled to get to his feet as he thrust several kunais with explosive tags towards her. She leaped over them. Heavenly divine rotation, she said, as she spun, smashing right into him as his body was sent sailing right into the arena wall, knocking him out. As everyone watched with awe, Hanabi Hyuga, quite a little impressive Hyuga, winner by knockout, Hanabi Hyuga, Naruto said, as everyone started to cheer as Juka was taken away by the medical crew. Your genin is quite talented, Hokage-sama Gaara said as the fight ended. Though she was quite reckless, Mei said. Had it been a real battle and she charged a wind user who has more powerful techniques, she might have died. As Tsunade nodded, I have to agree with you, Mizukage Dono. She has good techniques, but she needs to work on her strategy. Still, at least she's got spirit, the Raikage said. That is always a plus in my book. The other Kages looked at him oddly for a moment, but they just nodded. Alright, next match. Konohamaru Sarutobi versus Renji. Could you please make your way down to the arena? As Renji simply flicked off the stairs as he landed. As Konohamaru made his way down there. As two boys glared at each other. Are the both of you ready to axe? As the both of them nodded. As Konohamaru unsealed his bow staff. I hope you're ready for me to kick your ass, said Konohamaru. Renji's sweat dropped. This kid is like a miniature version of Ichigo, he said out loud. I think you're too cocky, kid. I'll enjoy kicking you down a few pegs. Begin, Naruto said, as both boys rushed at each other and clashed, their respective weapons trying to hit each other. As Renji came up with an up swipe that was blocked by Konohamaru, as Konohamaru swinging staff straight towards Renji's stomach, but Renji leaned back dodging the staff. Konohamaru then started spinning his staff at a deadly speed. Renji had to jump away so he wouldn't get hit. As Renji waited for the right moment as he thrust his blade outwards, stopping the staff, but Konohamaru pulled him back with the staff so he wouldn't get pierced. As Konohamaru then twirled the staff, knocking away Renji's sword as he got the opening. As he planted the staff in the ground and used it for momentum, as he smashed the bottom of his foot right into Renji's face. Renji was knocked straight up in the air, but he flipped in mid-air and landed. The moment he did, a large fireball was coming towards him, as he had to push out of the way. Earth style, Earth Dragon Missile, said Konohamaru, as a large mud dragon came from the ground and started to fire at Renji. As Konohamaru pulled out several kunais and shuriken from his pouch as he tossed them at Renji. The barrage then stopped as both of them rushed at each other. Neither of them saw the seals on the ground, and when they did, it was too late as they were forced to replace themselves as the ground exploded, sending fire straight up into the sky and tearing through the field. The both of them appeared on opposite ends of the field as they looked at each other. They then started to attack again, but cautiously this time. Well, this has turned out to be quite the fight, Ace said as he watched both of them. They're getting pretty good, Mei said as she studied the battle, but they could think more tactical. Still, they might be tuning material. But we have to see more before deciding that, said Tsunade. Their combat level is tuning though, said Yujito as she tilted her head. They were both trained very well. Most tunings don't learn all that is to be a tuning until they gain the rank anyway. The kitten is right, Hugh. That means they got to gain experience, no, B said. Damn it, B. Shut up with the rhyme, said Yujito. As the battle was going on, Naruto couldn't help but smile, as the both of them were quite impressive. Well, they wouldn't stay up to a battle with him and Akatsuki, or him versus Yagura, but they were showing a lot of skills. As Konohamaru was keeping up as well. If it wasn't for his training, Renji would have farly surpassed him by now and defeated him, because that boy from Kira, he was quite strong. And Renji was a lot faster, but Konohamaru was able to use both sides of his weapons to negate the advantage. Konohamaru planted the explosive tag on Renji's blade, as Renji dropped his sword and tried to move, but it was too late, as it exploded. When the smoke cleared, Renji was on the ground, his blade a distance away, as Konohamaru quickly created a clone. As he held out his hand, as the clone started to build their jutsu in his hand. Naruto taught him the Rasengan, said Tsunade in a shout, as she stood up from her seat, as she was surprised that Naruto could teach someone an A rank jutsu in a month, and that Konohamaru could learn it so quickly. And she was also a bit angry that Naruto would teach such a powerful jutsu to a genin. She would be having a word with him when this was over. I suspected Naruto Koi would do something like this, Mei said, as Tsunade sat back down. I have to admit I am impressed that genin could learn such a powerful technique within a month. It does speak well of the boy's skill, as well as the teacher, said the Raikage. However, the fact that he's using such a technique when he doesn't need it, he needs some restraint, said Yujito. Right now the boy is just showing off. As the others in the booth nodded in agreement. Konohamaru smashed the Rasengan right into Renji's stomach, as Renji was sent sailing as he smashed into the wall. When Renji did not get back up, Naruto announced, winner, Konohamaru Sarutobi, he said. Alright, yeah, said Konohamaru as the crowd cheered him on, as Renji was taken on the medical stretcher, taken to the medical department, as Konohamaru jumped up in the air cheering. Will Raiden and Ichigo Kurosaki come down, Naruto said, as Raiden and Ichigo went down there. As Ichigo stood, holding on to his massive blade, Raiden went into a fighting stance. I hope you're ready to lose, said Ichigo, as he smirked. I believe you should wait until the battle is finished, then you should talk, said Raiden. Ichigo simply smirked. Are both of you ready, Naruto asked. The both of them nodded. Alright then. Begin, Naruto said, as Ichigo disappeared in a blur. Raiden quickly ducked under a sword swipe, as he thrust his fist forward, but Ichigo flipped away, as he went through several hand signs. He fired off a large bolt of lightning that headed straight towards Ichigo, as it shocked Ichigo, but he then burst into water. A large wave of water then came up from the ground, as Raiden had to flash away to escape the attack. Appearing on a tree branch, he tried to think of a plan, but his eyes went wide, as he saw several explosive tags, as he quickly sunshined away as the tree exploded. He then had to duck a mighty sword swipe from Ichigo one more time. As he quickly went through some hand signs, he fired off a large ball of lightning from his mouth. It was like a cannonball, but Ichigo brought down his sword that was glowing with blue chakra, as he sliced the lightning ball right in half. Ichigo then blurred away, as he smashed a kick into Raiden's back. Jumping up a bit, he smashed his foot right into Raiden's face. Raiden was sent sailing as he smashed into the wall, as Naruto realized that Raiden was out for the count. Winner, Ichigo Kurosaki, he said, as Ichigo raised his hand as the crowd cheered him on. I must say that boy is quite impressive to defeat Raiden, the Raikage said. He's one of my better genins. Well, Ichigo has a lot of raw power to throw around. Not for that, I don't believe he would have won. The boy lacked finesse, Mei said. That reminds me about how Naruto used to be, Tsunade said. Oh, do tell, said Mei, as Tsunade smirked as she told me about how Naruto used to be before he went on his training trip. Meanwhile, Naruto felt a shiver run down his spine. I feel like someone's talking about me, he thought. Alright, with Udon and Ote and Shinji, please come down to the arena floor, as both boys made their way down there. Are the both of you ready, Naruto asked, as the both of them gave him a nod. Begin! The both of them jumped away and went through hand signs as Udon started to channel his chakra, as Oden threw several kunais with using his wind chakra to increase your speed. As the kunais came towards him, Udon spread his hand. Lightning release. Magnetic reverse, he said. The air around him get filled with pure electricity. As the kunais then stopped, they were then sent back towards Oden with incredible speed. As he was shocked by that, as he just got 2 slashes, but other than that he was fine. The both of them then rushed towards each other. Wing style, wing cutter, said Oden, as Udon had to jump away as the wing style tore through the ground. Oden then flashed beside him as he fired off a wind palm as it hit Udon right in the chest. Udon flipping mid-air and landed on the tree. His eyes went wide when he was frozen, a paralyzing seal. Oden then thought the opportunity as he thrust several kunais at him. Thankfully the seal broke as Udon vanished, switching himself to the log. Udon appeared in a tree several feet away as he thrust several kunais and shurikens towards Oden. As the Saiyan Genin spin around just in time, knowing through several hand signs. A gust of wind knocked the shurikens off course, but the distraction was all Udon needed as he appeared and sent a fist right towards Oden's chest. One of them connected, but Oden slapped away his hand. Udon smirked as he jumped away, as Oden's eyes went wide as the explosive tag was right on his shirt. As Oden ripped off his shirt and threw it away, as he jumped behind a tree. As the shirt exploded, he looked up but Udon wasn't there anymore. That was when everything went black as a kunai smashed in the back of his head, the blunt end of it, as he collapsed unconscious. As Udon came from behind the tree pulling his unconscious body. Winner, Udon, Naruto announced. The next match was Rukia versus Totano, as the both of them made their way down there, as Rukia had her hand on her blade but she did not pull it. The both of you ready, Naruto asked. The both of them nodded. Alright then, begin! Once those words left Naruto's mouth, Rukia disappeared in a burst of speed. Reappearing right in front of Totano, Rukia's sword came out. But Totano pulled a kunai and blocked the attack, as the both of them started to clash. As Totano ducked under Rukia's swipe, as he grabbed her arm, twisting her and he thrust her straight up in the air, as he went through hand sign, lightning release. Blast, he said. Released that lightning pulse that smashed into Rukia, but Rukia turned into water. Ninja art, hidden mist jutsu, a voice said, as the place was then surrounded by mist. As Totano was looking around, it was affecting his vision. His instincts was screaming at him to move as he jumped out of the way as Rukia dropped from the sky, slashing at where he was. It then became a game of cat and mouse as Rukia appeared and tried to slash him down, and he kept on vanishing and jumping away, leaping away trying to get out of the mist. As Totano started to dodge the slash, he was gathering up his chakra. Lightning release. Lightning wave, he said. Lightning exploded from his body as it was a scream of pain. As the mist cleared away, it showed Rukia on her knees, electricity sparking all over her, but she was still conscious. As Totano walked over towards the girl, as he placed a kunai to her neck, only for his eyes to went wide when she burst into a puddle of water. As a blade pressed against his throat. Surrender, said Rukia. As he looked, I said surrender. As he lowered his hand, he used up a lot of chakra to do that lightning burst. I surrender, he said. This girl is quite impressive, said Snaddy. Smart strategy. Thank you, I taught her about tactical combat myself, May said with pride in her voice. I have to admit, your Jenny is quite amazing tactically, said A, while Totano was not the most powerful shinobi, he was a decent one. So she really showed her tactical strength in that battle. Winner by forfeit is Rukia, Naruto said. As the crowd cheered, Naruto sighed as the first part was over. The first part of the exam is over. We will be having a 15 minutes break for everyone to stretch your legs and get something to eat. As the spectators start to rise, Naruto turned his attention towards the Kage's booth. He then vanished in a gentle breeze. Snaddy along with the other Kage stood up to get some movement in their legs. Those were some excited matches, the Raikage said with a grin. I can't wait to see the rest. Yes, they were pretty good, said Snaddy. We have to discuss who amongst them deserve to be tuning, since there was many great candidates. There are few that can make it to tuning, May said, but I think we should wait until these battles came to a conclusion. They will get more harder as they go on. You're pretty smart, you. A pretty little thing like you know how things go, said B. As both Yujito and May smacked him, B, stop the rapping, said Yujito. Especially about me in that context. Do so again and I'll melt you, Mei said in a sweet little voice. The man around her shivered at the tone, as Ayo was glad, for once it was not directed at him. B actually paled at the threat. Having Yujito kick him was fine, because he would be upright. It only hurt when she was truly pissed. But having Akagi saying that she was going to melt you, and knowing that she could do it, it was an entirely different case. Before he could say anything, no, that isn't nice, Mei-chan, as everyone turned to see Naruto with a smile. But I don't think he can help his rapping though. He's just made for it. But I would suggest you not make any crude comments about her, Naruto said as he looked at B. Naruto-kun, Naruto-koi, as Yujito and Mei greeted the blonde as they walked up to him. As Naruto gave the both of them a smile as he pulled the both of them into a hug as they rested their head on his shoulder. As this happened, meaning everyone that didn't know about his relationship with two women, well, everyone except for Snather was looking at him shocked. Even Gaara was surprised, as Kankuro was cursing under his breath for that lucky bastard. Temaru actually felt a bit jealous seeing those two girls over him as well. As Naruto wrapped his arms around Mei and Yujito, how are you two doing up here? Not too bored, I hope. Not at all, Mei said, as she lifted her head up and gave him a rather heated kiss. One that caused Kankuro to flip the hell out, but he managed to control himself as he couldn't believe Naruto was so lucky. As Naruto didn't have any time, as Yujito was the next one that kissed him. Pulling back, she gave Naruto a smile, but it's much better now that you're here, she said. That was something the two of them had started been doing recently. Whenever one of them speak, the other one would finish it. Every time they did that though, it sent a shiver down Naruto's spine of pleasure. It just felt good when they said and finished each other's sentence. As Naruto knew it was Mei's idea, seeing that Yujito would come up with something like this, Mei was always thinking of new experiments. And they also have been hanging out a lot after the restaurant incident. You know, you two are becoming insatiable, Naruto said. Only because you spoiled us this week, Mei said. I suppose so, Naruto said with a small grin. I'm going to have to be careful around you girls. As Kankuro leaned over, did you know that Naruto's getting play like this from two hot women? No, Gaara said. I wonder how he does it. Kankuro blinked. Wait, is Gaara actually thinking about girls? Well, Gaara had become quite popular with the ladies of the sand. But his little brother didn't know anything about women. To hear Gaara ask something like that, it was shocking. Yo, big bro, what's going on with those three? Do you know? B asked. As he tried to turn away from the sight of a tree, but yet he found himself staring at them. A just shook his head, as he had no idea. It's just too bad Jiraiya-san is not here. This would be great material to help him write his book. It was several minutes later, as Naruto was forced to go back down there, as he gave the girls a wink and told them he will make it up back to them later. Time skip. Oh man, Naruto-koi, I just can't get over how good your food is. Mei said that she took another delicious bite of Naruto food. As Yujito nodded with her mouth stuffed. The tuning exams were over, as it was only a few hours ago. Each stage kept on getting harder and harder, with Naruto even making shadow clones, forcing the Genin to team up with each other as he made Storm with his element. The final contestants actually fought in a three-way battle. Akira, Ichigo, and Konohamaru made it into the final round, with a big surprise winner being Akira. But Naruto shouldn't be so surprised. The Kumoku no Ichi had played it smart, as she made Konohamaru and Ichigo beat the crap out of each other, as she studied them and realized they were two alpha males who love to show their strength. So she just watched them beat the crap out of each other, and then she swooped in and take the win when they were injured. Out of the 9 Genins who had participated, only Rukia, Akira, and Udon made it to Chunins. Some of the others had the skill of a Chunin, but they did not know when to make a tactical withdraw. Best 2 examples of this being Ichigo and Konohamaru. Still, the two were even more determined to be better next time, as they also created a little rivalry, vowed to beat one another. I'm glad to hear that, Naruto said to the two girls as he took a bite of his food. I would be disappointed if my food was no longer satisfying the both of you. Currently, him, Yujito, and me were sitting by the lake that him and me went to swim into when she first arrived. As they were sitting under one of the many trees, a blanket was laid down on the ground and food was on it. They were having a picnic. Then it's a good thing you don't have to worry about that, said me. But even if your food wasn't good, we would still love you. You know that sentence doesn't inspire much confidence, Naruto said, with a pout on his face. You make it sound like you might not feel the same way if my cooking wasn't the same as it was. Well, said Mei, I didn't want to say anything, but... For the rest of the time they talk and tease each other. As Naruto was happy, the two women seemed to be best friends now, like they were friends for years. As he was happy for that. They were no longer at each other's throat. As Naruto stood up after eating, taking off his shirt. So, do you guys want to go for a swim, he asked. His answer came, with the both of them throwing off their clothes right at his head, before tackling him right to the lake. Some time later, Tsunade was cursing as Shizune had gotten rid of her secret stash of sake once again, and she was pissed off. As she sighed in annoyance, this is exactly what Shizune wanted, as she worked harder so she could finish, and get this over with. A knock then came at her door as she grunted. Come in, she said. As the three old bastards came in. What the hell do they want, she thought. Tsunade-sama, said Danzo. As Tsunade eyebrow twitched, looking at Danzo, Homura and Koharu. What do you three want, she asked. In case you haven't noticed, I have a lot of work to do. The three elders frowned at her disrespectful voice, but they came here for something so they let it go. As Danzo stepped forward, we are merely here as concerned citizens, Tsunade-sama. Oh, said Tsunade as she raised the eyebrow. And what is there that could concern you three? Homura coughed in his hand. Well, we have been hearing many rumors about this Akatsuki Jiraiya-sama has been spying on. We are concerned about the effects this could have on Konoha, especially when they come after Namikaze-san. Tsunade narrowed her eyes as she figured where this was going. She just knew these three wouldn't get off his back. These damn old coot. The only question was, what was they planning? So tell me, why would you be concerned about Namikaze-san? You do know that he's a S-rank ninja, right? One that is probably more powerful than me. Well, we know how powerful Namikaze-san is. However, we feel to give him some beneficial protection. More protection to add on. See how important he has become. We can't let the threat of the Akatsuki does anything to him. Tsunade's eyes narrow as she now understands what they were getting at. They want one of Danzo's men, one of his flunky, to keep on watch on Naruto, who could find some kind of weakness that they could exploit to bend Naruto to their will. To be honest, she was surprised that they were being so transparent. Normally, she had to look under the underneath to find out what they wanted. Though, they were actually getting desperate. Every game they placed in front of Naruto, he outplayed them. They had no move left. And you think you have someone strong enough to protect Naruto, Tsunade asked, stalling for time. I don't know of any other ninjas, except for myself and Jiraiya, who can fight S-rank shinobis in combat. Unless there is something you're not telling me. I can have one of my best security personnel accompany him on mission, said Danzo. As Danzo had to be careful with this, he knew that Tsunade knew that his route operation wasn't disbanded as it was supposed to be. Tsunade just watched the man, as she knew what his security personnel was. It was route. That was supposed to be disbanded, but she couldn't prove it. As Danzo was rather paranoid, he had covered his tracks so well, not even Jiraiya, the spy master, could find anything about his route. But this could also be a win for them, if Naruto could get close to that person that was on his group, and keep an eye on them, and even make that person trust him somehow. He could make that person give him intel, or even spy on them to get information on where his route operatives and the base were. As Tsunade nodded, I suppose, she said. I will allow one of your personal securities to team up with Naruto, she said. Though he may not always be teamed up with him on any mission. As Homura and Koharu was nodded, Danzo figured what was up. He was not naive to believe that she would give up so easily. As Danzo knew that she knew about his route. While she couldn't prove it, she knew about them. So what was she up to? I'm glad to see we come to agreement, Hokage-sama. I will have my chosen man here tomorrow morning. Very well, said Tsunade. As they left, Tsunade spun around in her chair. She was taking a risk, allowing one of Danzo's men to get close to Naruto, who would somehow harm him, or even try to assassinate him. But she had 100% faith in Naruto's abilities to get through situations, and she knew that Danzo would never be so bold. Not yet, at least. She could only hope that this would work out in the end. Time skip. Naruto had a smile on his face as he was in the center, two girls snuggling up against him as their hot, naked body was wrapped up on him. Both girls let out a low moan and she started to rub his hand up and down their backs. "I'm gonna miss this feeling," said Yujito. As Mei did not say anything, just hummed in agreement. As Naruto kissed the both of them on the forehead, "So will I, but it's not like we won't see each other." "I know," said Yujito as she kissed him on the shoulder. "Doesn't mean I won't miss getting spoiled by you." As Naruto chuckled softly, "Don't worry, eventually, I'll be able to spoil you girls like this every day." As Naruto kissed her head again, "Now, let's follow Mei's example and get some rest." As Yujito nodded as she snuggled up into him. Time skip. You call Danzo-sama. As Danzo looked at the figure who was kneeling in front of him, a young man who was wearing a bird mask, as he was no older than 17. Yet he was one of Danzo's most valuable assets. He was trained at an early age, when Danzo was unable to get Naruto into his root program. "I have a new mission for you. You are to watch Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Find out everything you can about him, strength, weaknesses, and every people that he is close to. Do you understand your mission?" "Yes, Danzo-sama," he said. "Good. Take off your mask. For this mission you won't need it." As the boy slowly took off his mask to reveal his pale skin. He had short black hair and black eyes. As Danzo looked at him, "For this mission your name will be Sai." Time skip. It has been a day since Mei and Yujito left as Naruto missed the both of the women, as he was currently twirling his chopsticks, playing with his ramen and not eating. He had gotten used to waking up with the both of them snuggling up beside him. Shaking his head, he chowed down on the ramen as he drank the rest of it in the bowl. As he then placed it down, he pulled out his frog wallet. "Thanks for the food, Tuka. Give my regards to Amy when she gets here," Naruto said, as he placed down the money. "Alright, see you later, Naruto," he said, as Naruto headed off. As he was going home, he spotted Choji, Shikamaru, and Ino. "Hey guys," Naruto said. "What's up, Naruto?" said Choji. "Not much," Naruto said. "Now that Chunin exams are over, things have gotten a lot quiet." "It is also a lot less troublesome now," said Shikamaru. As he was glad those troublesome exams were over with, he could now get back to his cloud watching. "Everything is always troublesome for you, Shikamaru," said Ino. "Nah, just anything that require me to work," he said. Ino scowled as she then turned to Naruto. "So what is this I heard about you spending time with two foreign women?" Being a gossip queen, she was curious to hear more about this. It had been the talk of Konoha, first claiming that Naruto was seen with a red-haired woman, as she was a Mizukage, the new one. Then there was rumors of him spending time with a blonde kunoichi from Kumo, and then spending time with the both of them. Ino confirmed those rumors when she saw Naruto in Chunin exams break, as he was sitting and standing with both women. And she was also a bit jealous. After Naruto's first meeting, her father told her about the CRA and that Naruto had married multiple women. But things hadn't worked out the way that she wanted it. While not being rude, he turned down any attempts that she made at him, as it made her really angry since she used to use her beauty to get what she wanted with the man in the village. Eventually she stopped trying to get him, so she focused on being his friend, but that still didn't mean that she didn't feel jealousy. Naruto sighed as he knew that Ino would figure about this. The red-haired woman was Mei Terumi, the 5th Mizukage, and the blonde was Yujito. She's a Kumo ninja, and the Jinchuriki for the two tails. The three were surprised when they heard about the Jinchuriki. They knew that Naruto was one as well. In all honesty, they didn't really care, but hearing about another one, they were surprised. They also happened to be two of the 4 women I planned on marrying, Naruto said. There was no way to hide that now that the three have been seen together. Not that was a problem anyway. Yujito was already a target of the Akatsuki, so her being his fiancé wouldn't mean much. And since she lived in Kumo, Danzo and his flunkies wouldn't try anything against her. And Mei was a Kage. She was a S-rank ninja and she also commanded several thousand other ninjas. So the Akatsuki and Danzo would have been stupid to try and get her as a hostage. "So you mean that you're marrying them?" Hino said. As hearing rumors were all well and good, but hearing it from Naruto's mouth. "Didn't I just say that?" Naruto said. "Seriously, why do some women always repeat what you said?" Now he understands why Shikamaru always said that women are troublesome. Well, some of them. "Oh, it's just surprising," said Ino. "I suppose that's true," Naruto said. "However, I've known them for several years now. One of them is a Kage and the other is a Jinchuriki like yourself. Sounds like some troublesome politician argument," said Shikamaru. "Huh, I suppose it would. To be honest, I never thought about it like that," Naruto said. I met the both of them while I was traveling in the elemental nations. Both of them had something that I not only love, but it was unique and different. And the fact that they are unrivalably beautiful amongst other kunoichis. I'm not one to believe in destiny or fate and all of that crap, but I have to thank God for bringing them to me. As the three of them looked at him, as he looked like he was in love, fully, deeply in love. Ino once again felt jealousy well up inside of her. It was clear that Naruto was devoted to those two. When she was chasing after Sasuke and recently Naruto, she had wanted to see that look aim after her. As she sighed in disappointment, the four continued to talk for a while, switching the topic, when Naruto sensed movement behind him. Pulling out his blade, Naruto sliced right through two tigers. As he sniffed ink, as Naruto scanned the air and spotted a figure on the roof several meters away. As he channeled chakra into his eyes as he saw the boy. He had short black hair with pale skin and black eyes, and a small backpack that Naruto assumed that he held the equipment that he used to make those two ink beasts. And he had a tonto on his back. In many ways, Naruto felt strong. It was just like deja vu to Sasuke. It was strange. But his eyes were different. Sasuke always had hatred for his brother, but these eyes, they show nothingness. Immediately Naruto knew that this was one of Danzo's puppet, but why would he test me, attack me so openly? More importantly, what does he gain on this? He already knows that I'm an S-rank ninja, so anyone that is not on that level cannot test me, especially this guy. Naruto shook his head. There be go thinking, overestimating myself again. I don't even have accurate information on this guy. I'll have to deal with it first, and then sort with information later. As the boy then write down again as three more of those beasts came out. Shikamaru, Naruto said. Shikamaru sighed as he went through hand sign. Ninja art, shadow sowing jutsu, he said. As his shadows burst on the ground, stabbing through the ink tigers as Naruto dashed off. As six more beasts were sent towards Naruto, but Choji appeared and smashed all of them away. Thanks, Naruto said as he dashed off as more came at him. Naruto simply waved his blade one time as all of them burst into ink. As Naruto appeared over Sai and brought his blade down, Sai brought out his tanto, but he did not expect this kind of strength. As he went down on his knees instantly, the ground breaking. So much strength, Sai thought. You know, it's not very nice to attack a leaf shinobi. Naruto said, do so again, and I'll make you regret that choice. My apologies, Sai said. As he gave Naruto a fake smile, as Naruto saw it. It was so fake he wanted to throw up. I was just testing your skills as a shinobi, and I have to say with how terrible you are, you must not have any balls, Sai said. Sai eyes then met with Naruto. As Naruto blinked, and how would you know if I have no balls or not? For that, why are you so interested in my lower regions? Because you know, it's totally cool if you're in that kind of thing. But if that is the case, you may want to go to the sauna. I hear Orochimaru had a fetish for pale-skinned boys. Meanwhile, within one of his many bases, Orochimaru sneezed. Someone must be talking about me. I hope I can use him for my experiments. Who cares if someone is talking about you? Get back to my training, said Sasuke. Of course, Sasuke, said Orochimaru. Because of how pathetic you are, Sai said with a smile. I see, said Naruto, as he started to apply more pressure. And tell me, how exactly am I pathetic? Does it have something to do with strength? Because if it does, we both know I'm stronger than you. As Naruto brought down his blade even more and shattered Sai's blade, as he spun around, kicking Sai right in the head, sending him flying back. And maybe it's because you don't think I have skill. But you should know I have more skill than you. Sai tried to create several ink beasts, but Naruto exploded as Sai crashed into a wall. As Sai looked up to see the real Naruto standing on top of a building, he gave Naruto one of those fake smiles as he went off. Time skip. Itachi and Kisame were walking towards Take as they were going to capture their next Jinchuriki. So, how are we going to get this one? Asked Kisame. As the Nadabi wasn't their original target, as it was Kakazu, before he was killed. From what Kisame heard, the Nadabi Jinchuriki had two powers that made her a difficult opponent. Her bugs that were similar to those of the Aburame clan. And she had superpower strength that was said to be on par with Tsunade due to her earth affinity. And while Kisame was sure that he could take her, when push come to shove, having a ninja that drained your chakra with bugs, like what he did with Samehata, was gonna be tougher. You are going to be the distraction, said Itachi looking ahead. The draw are out, along with the other ninjas, and when she arrives I will take her out. Seeing that her bugs put you at a disadvantage. Oh, so I go in and cause massive amount of damage. Sound good to me, he said a smirk. Moments later, Shibuki gave a sigh of relief as he just finished all of his paperwork. As the young leader leaned back in his chair. Not much has changed for the village in the last years. It still looked much the same, with a large tree in the center where the hero water produced. The waterfall entrance and Take, natural defenses, has kept Take from being invaded throughout the 3 Great Ninja Wars. The only real change came in when Jiraiya came and arrived and warned them about the threat of the Akatsuki. Ever since then, there has been much debate on what to do about Fu. As she was a 7-tailed beetle and his sister, many of the village elders think that Fu should be exiled and just given to Akatsuki to appease them so they wouldn't attack Take. As many of the civilians agree with them, like most places, Jinchurikis were hated here. However, as the village leader, Shibuki shut all of that down. No one will touch his sister. And it will be foolish to give Fu towards a group of criminals that the other elemental nations hated. And also, Kakazu was a part of that group as well. Before, his remains were sent to Take by Naruto. That was the only reason why the elders did not press the issue, seeing that anything had to consider with Kakazu was taboo in this village. Shibuki has also changed as well. When his father died when Suyen betrayed the village, he didn't want to die either, as he was a coward, but all of that changed when he made that certain blonde shinobi, even to push him as far to drink the hero water himself, something that would usually kill the person who drink it. But to his surprise, he survived after drinking hero's water, and he became the true leader of Take. It was all because of that blonde shinobi as well, as Naruto helped him so much back then, as Naruto gave him the confidence to fight, even though Suyen was much more he couldn't get to finish that thought, as a loud explosion shook the entire place. What the hell is going on, he said, as a Chunin came inside. It's the Akatsuki, Shibuki-sama. They're attacking. Shibuki's eyes widened as he knew it would be a matter of time before the Akatsuki tried to do something to get his sister, or more than that be. It was for that reason he ordered Fu not to do any missions, keeping her in the village where he felt that she was more protected by Take natural defenses. He never assumed that Akatsuki would be so reckless to attack her in the village. Gather all of our shinobi forces, Shibuki said. They have come for Fu. We have no idea what a group of criminals like them will do if they get their hands on Nanabe's power. Also, send out one of our hawks to contact Konoha and request aid, as Shibuki then rushed off to the explosion. After the Suyen incident, Shibuki had pushed himself as hard as he can, and he was one of the strongest ninjas in Take, and he will be damned if he cannot protect his home. Meanwhile, Kisame had a smirk on his face as all of the ninjas headed towards him, as Samehata was currently in his hand as he stood next to the giant tree. Soon enough ninjas came surrounding as they charged at him, as he let his power explode from his body. His chakra was so strong that it caused many of the ninjas to stop in shock as they saw the ripple just explode out of him. This was the reason he earned the name of a Bichu without a tail, as he was nearly without equal when it came to chakra. The only one being his superior was Naruto. Seeing that Naruto rivaled chakra with some of the lesser Bichus like the Ichibai and the Nibi, as a big smirk came on Kisame's face as he started the distraction, as he started to attack ninjas from left to right, smashing into them with Samehata. As he went through hand sign, water release. Water shark projectile, he said, as a large stream of water came up, as sharks are riding on top of it as they came down. The moment they touch, boom. Time skip. Shizune-san. Shizune looked up to see a man carrying a message in his hand. It's a letter from Take. She took the letter and started to read, her eyes in wide as she burst into the office. Tsunade-sama. Tsunade spit out the sake that she was drinking as she was about to offer some excuse, but she saw the look on Shizune's face. Shizune, what's wrong? It's the Akatsuki. They're attacking Take. We just received the message they're under attack. The description, they're being attacked by Kisame. Did the report mention anything about his partner? No, it was apparently wasn't seen. As Tsunade tapped her hand, She couldn't allow the Akatsuki to get any Biju. She need to act fast. Get me Naruto, Kakashi, Sakura, and Sai. Tsunade-sama, are you sure about this? I mean, Naruto is... I know very well that Naruto is a target. However, he's also the only other X-rank ninja in the village right now. The only one that can face Akatsuki one-on-one and probably win. Now hurry up and get him. Hi Tsunade-sama, she said as she ran off. But guys, be in this episode right here. I'm gonna be seeing you soon. But more for now, stay tuned for yourself to what is coming your way. Peace.